Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, I'm doing something different. This is not my normal opening, so I'm taking a couple days with the family over the holidays. So, first of all, happy holidays to you and yours, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving or just wonderful day if you're in a different country. But thanks so much for being here. So, I am re-releasing some of my Patreon episodes. So we'll be deep diving Sex in the City, one of my favorite things to do. So this one is from season 2, episode 7, one of my favorites, The Chicken Dance. Remember, this is the one where Miranda has the friend from England come stay with her, and she thinks it'll be some sort of romantic connection, but things take a different turn. So sit back, relax, enjoy. If you want to further support the show and see more stuff like this, check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. Let's get into this episode, and thanks for being here. Happy holidays. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking Patreon. It is season 2, episode 7, The Chicken Dance. You guys, I have a lot to say on this one. I always love this episode so much. I think the fashion is great. I think they have some pretty funny lines, each of them. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this one. So I'm excited to talk about it. I also found out some interesting behind the scenes stuff. So we are going to talk about that too. So let's get into the chicken dance. Okay, so we first hear about house guests and out of town. And Miranda's got a friend coming. So she's hired Madeline Dunn, who is an up-and-coming designer. She's a friend of Charlotte's. The actress that plays Madeline is named Carrie Preston. So here's a fun fact about Carrie Preston. So the first thing to think about is that when Carrie marries Big, she became Carrie Preston. But that's the real-life actress's name. Now, what's interesting about her is she played Chris Noth's lawyer in The Good Wife. She also played Arlene Fowler in True Blood, if you watch that. So she talks about bringing a table by tomorrow, but otherwise she's got Miranda all set up, especially these stupid dancing frogs, which comes to play in a funny way later. So we find out about Jeremy. He's an old friend of Miranda's. He's lived in London as a reporter. He's played by Stephen Turner from Law and Order. So they've been trading emails and they've been getting flirty. He's thinking about coming to New York to check out the job situation. He's going to stay with Miranda. Meanwhile, Carrie's staying at Big's house. She asks for a spare toothbrush. She asks him, I'll replace it. Do you have one? He pulls out, in a very flourishy way, a pink toothbrush head. Knowing Carrie, she has to read so much into everything, so she freaks out saying, there's only one pink head, and it's mine. And what's funny about this scene is if you watch closely, she doesn't end up brushing her teeth. She just takes the head back off, sets it next to the blue one, and admires it. Okay, so we flash forward to Jeremy being in town. I have a note here that says, I hate Miranda's outfit, because I absolutely hate Miranda's outfit. I remember thinking this when it originally aired. I think it every time I watch this episode. I hate this outfit so much. You have a date coming, right? Why would you dress like 1970? I don't understand it. I just don't think it suits her at all. So when they're getting cozy and he's saying, I don't want to date anymore, I want to get married, Madeline knocks on the door. She's there to deliver an end table. She thanks her for bringing it by. Jeremy locks eyes with Madeline, and that's all she wrote. They smile, they laugh. He ends up inviting her to dinner. Miranda and he were just about to go to dinner. He asks her to go. And there's a voiceover about having a great first date. And too bad it was awkward because she was on their date. So even the way that they have them seated is pretty funny to me. It's like Miranda's at the kids' table. And, oh, God, that feeling. It's like, she really wanted him, but they just have an unbelievable connection. So Miranda's just kind of stuck there, and I felt bad for Miranda, which is a sentence I usually don't say because I'm not a huge Miranda fan. But I did feel bad for Miranda. She was hoping something would work out. It didn't, but how do you fight a connection like that? So there's some awkward taunt about her trying to get him to come home, but he obviously wants to stay out with Madeline. Madeline reminds Miranda that she has a spare key, so I can just let Jeremy back in. And Miranda's like, yeah, okay, great. It's an awkward good night. That's it. A week later, Miranda is throwing a party for Jeremy. It's going away party. They make a toast, or he makes a toast to Miranda, and then to Madeline. And he said she must be drunk off her ass because she just agreed to marry me. And Miranda and all the girls are like, what the heck? You know, Charlotte is super excited about it. Miranda's freaking out, saying, how could this apartment be luckier for her than it is for me? So she says, yeah, I'm going to go get some ice. So she ends up taking the girls out with her, and they sit on the stoop outside. Charlotte is eating this romantic stuff up. She says she thinks it's love at first sight. She's totally here for it, totally believes in it, and says, just goes to show you could meet somebody and whatever, a few weeks or a week later be engaged. Samantha's like, it's not love. They've been banging nonstop, you know. She says she doesn't understand it at all. Everybody wants to get married, but the world is a smorgasbord. Gotta love Samantha. Okay. So then a cute guy walks up and asks about where the party is. And Samantha offers to take him and to go with him to the party. So they walk off together. Again, Miranda says that the apartment is lucky for everybody except for her. So Miranda, Carrie, and Charlotte are walking together. Miranda's mad because Charlotte's friend is the one marrying Jeremy. She said she wished she had gone with a gay designer because then there'd be no problem. He'd just fall for her. Okay, so then Carrie. She says she needs a reality check she calls Big. She says she was just at a party. These people got engaged after meeting a week ago. Big says he gives it 3 months. Do you believe in love at first sight? And he says, I believe in lust at first sight. She apologizes for waking him up. And he says, no problem. Next time, be at the door naked. So then she's writing her column and says, in a city as skeptical as New York, is it still possible to believe in love at first sight? Okay, so then we go over to Madeline. She's 4 weeks away from her wedding. She's frantically planning. We find out that they're having it at the plaza. She's asked Carrie to read something. She wants her to write a poem and read it at the wedding. Charlotte's going to be a bridesmaid, and Miranda, she's put on the guest book. We hear a lot about that. Okay, so from here we go to lunch with the girls. Charlotte is still caught up in the romance of it all, and Carrie's mad that she has to write this poem. Samantha says she might have to get married, and tells the girls, and who are completely shocked, because she took that guy home, and he kept saying, tug my hair, over and over, and it's such a weird, quirky thing that it stuck in her mind, and she remembered right then that she had slept with him previously. So she said she thought it was about 15 years ago, and when she brings it up to him, he said, yeah, I thought you were playing sexy stranger game. Charlotte is completely appalled that Samantha wouldn't remember somebody she slept with. Carrie is like, I don't think we're talking single digits anymore, so they're really judgmental. I mean, I don't think any of them have any room to talk on the number of guys they bang. That's up to them, but like, I don't get why they're judging her so hard for this. Okay, so Charlotte got to pick her own bridesmaid dress. She tells everybody it's a sexy backless black satin. I have a lot to say about that dress when we get there. And she says, I'm always Charlotte. Don't look at me. Look at the bride. This time, people are going to be looking at me as she bangs the table. So in a voiceover, Carrie points out that this wedding is stressing all of them out, but not the bride and groom who met a week ago. Okay, then from there we go to Carrie and Big in bed together. So she's working on her poem. She's writing out words like love, glove, dove. He suggests shove. And, you know, as many times as I've seen this episode, I saw it a different way this time. And what I mean is, it's weird because the writing, so it has him asking to go to the wedding. I don't remember that. I thought she had asked him to go, but he actually says he doesn't want to miss it. And she even says, like, you're not going. He says, oh, yes, I am. I don't want to miss your poem. So then from there, we go to 4 weeks later. So things with Big are good, and she's excited that he's going to the wedding. Somebody pointed out on Reddit, this should be Carrie's naked dress because you can see basically everything from like the butt cheek down. I do like this dress on her a lot. I like that blush pink. I think it's really pretty. Her hair kind of bothers me here. I just don't think it matches the tone of the dress, but I think she looks really pretty. I actually really do like this dress a lot. Okay, so so they're getting ready for the wedding. And she says, I have the card here for you to sign. He says, I don't need to sign it. They're your friends. And so they kind of start off on a weird foot. Can we talk about the outfits here? Look at Samantha. She looks like a goddess. I love this dress on her. I love the hairstyle, everything. She looks fantastic. I actually really like Miranda's dress too, which, again, you don't hear me say that too often, but I do. I think she looks really pretty. My only complaint is I still hate Miranda's hair here, and I don't like that necklace with the dress. I don't think it needed it. Did the necklace just disappear? It was seriously just there a minute ago. That's funny, and now it's back. I'm noticing this now. Okay, look at Charlotte. Sorry, I didn't mean to have this stuff on the screen, but look at Charlotte. Look at this dress. I think she looks so beautiful. I actually liked later on when her hair's down with this dress. I don't know. I think it looks even better. I think her hair's pulled a little too tight here. Okay, so she shows up looking gorgeous. She's introduced to Martin Healy. He'll be walking her down the aisle. Music to her ears. Martin is played by Mike Dooley. He was in 28 Days. Remember that Sandra Bullock movie? He played Marty. Okay, Miranda says it's a bullshit job. People know what to do with the guest book. She's over it. I kind of love her attitude here because I totally agree. I think it is a bullshit job. I don't think anybody needs to stand next to the guest book. Just sign the guest book. Okay, so we're introduced to bride and groom, Jeremy and Madeline. So it's a wedding at the plaza planned in 4 weeks. So everybody's making a big deal about this. That groomsman Martin is speaking and saying he hopes to find love and winks at Charlotte. Madeline introduces Carrie, who's going to do her speech. Carrie is just not overly happy. Oh, can we talk about Madeline's dress, by the way? I don't hate it. I mean, it's very 90s, early 2000s when that glove thing was a thing, but I don't know. I think she looks super cute. It's not as formal as you would think for, I guess, a plaza wedding, but it's nice. I think she looks cute. Okay. So, let's see. So, Carrie. So she says shit under her breath when she's introduced. So things are not going well for her. She reads a poem. Everybody is moved by it, except for Big, who ends up taking a phone call in the middle of it and walking off. Carrie, at the end of her speech, ends up crying, but she passes it off as tears of joy for the happy couple. But clearly she's pissed about the whole Big thing. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have taken the phone call there, but once again, I think Carrie's kind of blowing everything out of proportion. He's the one that asked her to come to the wedding, so I don't know why she's so, I mean, I guess that's just her personality, why she's so neurotic about everything. So Charlotte and Martin are discussing everything from kids to dogs to everything that they, like land speed record of everything that they want. He decides this should be our song. Is The Way You Look Tonight is playing, and she says, well, then we should dance to it. Big finally comes back, asks what he missed. Carrie's super pissy with him, asks him to dance, and he says he doesn't like to dance while people are eating. She says, okay, I'll be at the bar where people are drinking. Meanwhile, we go to Samantha. She's just so gorgeous, and this guy looks so much like the turtle guy to me, but he's asking, where do I know you from? And she says, we probably banged. And he goes, no, I think I know you from college. She said, then I probably banged you in college. She orders another Cosmopolitan, and Carrie orders a scotch. She says, he took a call during my poem. We find out Miranda has to help with gifts to the car, and they notice that Charlotte and Martin are headed for the honeymoon suite. Carrie helps with the gift, realizing it's heavy, asks Miranda what she gave them. She gave them the frogs, the ugly frogs that Madeline decorated her apartment with. Okay, so at the bridal suite, Martin and Charlotte, it's super romantic, and she's showing him how to decorate everything with rose petals. He has silly string. They're overcome by the moment. He grabs her, they kiss, and it's just like they can't resist. Everything's moving super fast. So we find out 20 minutes later, they come down. She thinks she's blown it. Oh yeah, this is why I like her hair down like this. I just think she looks really pretty when it's a little softer. Okay, he introduces her to the parents. So she's like, yes, we're back on track. Okay, so they've been out dancing, and Dad asks Charlotte to dance. So she thinks, okay, cool, I'm going to be in great with the parents. Well, Dad's a big old creep because they're dancing, everything's going well, and then what happens? He puts his hand on her butt. Disgusting. So she's like, what? And at that same time, Martin asks if he can cut in. So Martin comes up and starts making small talk with her about what a great dad he has and how he loves his parents. Well, Charlotte kind of cuts him off and says, your father just felt me up. Well, Martin doesn't want to believe it at all and says, my parents have been married for 50 years. My dad wouldn't cop a feel because of some girl wearing a slutty dress. So she yells, did the last 4.5 hours mean nothing to you? I love that line so much. So Carrie has to have this conversation with Big. He asks if she's ready to go. And she says, they haven't even cut the cake yet. If you want to go, go. And he wants to know what's wrong with her. So she's doing that thing she does, again, where she's like wishy-washy, in and out. Everything's drama. You know what I mean? Like, she can't just relax for a minute. But she brings up that he couldn't sign the card. And I'm afraid we don't want the same things. And she says she wants somebody that'll be with me to the end of the wedding. He says, okay, I'll stay. They do the bouquet toss. They throw it. It lands right at the feet of the girls. Now, I gotta say, I don't think the 3 girls, Samantha, Carrie, and Miranda, would grab for it, but there's no way in hell, even if Charlotte's just been through this, there's no way in hell Charlotte's not grabbing that bouquet. I'm sorry. That's just how it would go. Okay. So Madeline throws it. It lands at their feet. Carrie says, okay, I'll see you girls tomorrow. Carrie says that she knew she was meant to go home with Big and have cake in bed, and that's how the episode ends. So, again, more Carrie being neurotic. I like the fashion of this one. I just like this episode. It's late. It's fun. I enjoy it. I've seen it a million times. But it was interesting to pick up on that detail that Big actually asked to go to the wedding. In my head, I always thought Carrie had asked him or made him her +1 or whatever, but she actually asked him to go. So I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I always thought she asked him to go, but he asked her to go. So maybe that does make him more of a shitbag than I realized. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your comments below. I love recapping these. I'm really having a lot of fun with this. I hope you are too. And I appreciate every single one of you and all the support. I hope you have a fabulous day. I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.